We're going to go live before we jump on Sonetta because we won't be over there till a little bit later. So let me play this song.
Have you seen Ebony? I can't find her.
No, I haven't seen her.
Did you see Ebony?
Yeah, she's with Uncle Pete.
Ebony? What's going on back here?
You're just playing a game. It's okay, isn't it?
Oh, I was just worried. As long as she's back here with you, everything is alright.
Mommy?
Shh. Shh.
Mommy!
Stand against the predators amongst us. Be the voice of change. Break the cycle.
Forgotten kids, hidden so well. Victims of their past, but they will never tell. Touched as children are scared by violence. They choose to hide it and keep the silence. Still forgotten victims who choose to hide. Push back their feelings or bottle them inside. Victims of abuse, scared to protest, but many are ashamed due to rape and incest. Still forgotten victims, hidden so well. Some memories of abuse, but very deep they dwell. Women and men hiding feelings of shame, but they are still victims and shouldn't be blamed. Still forgotten victims who choose to hide it. Keep quiet cause society takes sides and downplays violence. Many fear being believed, but they are still victims, so don't be deceived. Forgotten victims, hidden so well. Victims of wanting love, but truly living in hell. Day after day, they may suffer new pain by someone often close, but it could be far away. You may not have a voice, but I'll be yours today. So wipe those tears away and let my words relieve the pain. Don't drive yourself insane or add stress to your brain, trying to figure out why you've been treated this way. Just hold your head high, you know when karma comes around, she'll knock up to the ground when their time come around. The best way to heal is to seek help and talk about it, cause you never know your experience just might help somebody. I had my time of being quiet, hiding behind my tears for so many years, but one day I understood with my experiences I could help the next, so I'll dedicate my last breath to prevent future victims from this pain, and so all my survivors can stand tall again. I'll be your shield from the wind, the paper or the pen, take my hand and just say when. Forgotten victims, forgotten victims, forgotten victims, hidden so well. Victims of the past, but never would I tell.
What's good, Royal Family? What is good? Today, I figured since Sa had called me a little bit ago and told me that we're not starting it not until 9 o'clock where he is, and it'll be 8 where I am. So if you're in Central Time, it'll be 8 o'clock that we'll be over on Sonetta. I did want to, because this shit been on my mind, man. We kind of, skimmed past, not really skimmed past. It wasn't our intentions to, but I didn't know Naveah was gone that long in reality. So while I was just fucking around or whatever, I was, looking into the case and stuff, and I pulled up some clips on. We ain't probably gonna be here until I go on Sonetta, because I'm gonna want to take a little break or whatever. But I do have a couple of things I would want to look at starting from here. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with Naveah, but Question Everything was posted this video of this little girl, the situation with this little girl involving a cop, and I think that this is really getting out of hand. So we'll warm up with this, because I know that people are probably going to be dropped out of the live stream. Salute to everybody in here. Lucille, Mel, I seen Ashe up in here, Patricia, Rachel, Mindy, Leslie. Salute to everybody that's in here. Katrina, anybody that I missed, Porter. Basically, we just gonna, waste some time or whatever while we waiting outside. But this is something that I wanted to bring to you guys the other day or yesterday. But we be having some long ass live streams, y'all. So anyway, let's get into it. This little girl is, she's gonna have an altercation with the police, basically. And in my eyes, as a mother, this is not okay. So let me just let him take it away or whatever. But the main thing today will be the clips with Naveah. We'll probably say about an hour and a half or so. I am getting a lot of updates and other things, but I don't want to just pass over Naveah like, oh, her body was found. You know what I mean? Let's dig deeper into it before we do that. So those that do not know, right now, today, we will be out. Well, I will be on Sonetta Studios at, in his time zone, it'll be 9 o'clock, but mine, it will be 8. So if you're in Central Time Zone like me, 8 o'clock, turn on Sonetta Studios. I will be there. So let's get started with this situation. The video is called, video shows white cop slamming 11-year-old black girl onto ground. Let's go.
When are we going to stop allowing these officers to not only stop killing, harassing, bullying our women, but when we're going to stop allowing them to do that to our kids? Now, I'm going to go ahead and play this video clip, and it's disturbing, but I'm going to let y'all check it out.
I had enough of this. Take your bag off. Take your bag off. You're done.
Now, mind, this is a 11-year-old black girl.
Done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You are done. Put your arms behind your back. Put your arms.
Look how this man is manhandling somebody's child. That's somebody's child that you're putting your hands on like that. Huh? What would you do if I put my hands on your child like that? Now, I'm talking to the cop. They talking about he resigned. Fuck all that. What would have happened if am I allowed to put my hands on somebody else's child? Are you allowed to put your hands on somebody else's child? But cops are allowed to put their hands on everybody's children. That's balance? Wow. But let's continue.
Behind your back.
First of all, how the child is 11, okay? 11 years old. You think they know, how the world works? They would not truly fully understand the situation, but one thing this child understood was you have no business putting your hands on a little girl. Now, in most cases, any male putting their hands on a little girl, we will side-eye it, even if it's violently or inviolently. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, well, wait a minute, why is this grown-ass man got his hands all over this 11-year-old girl? But a cop can do it, though, huh?
But look, this 11-year-old girl is not dumb. She's going to say something to him that is very real, okay? And when it comes up, he's gonna say something about it, but what she says is very real in these situations. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give it away yet. Let's go.
Look at this. that child is telling you to get off of her. That's what she's supposed to do. In one instant, you tell our children, do not allow, strange men or women to touch them.
Facts.
If somebody do that, come tell us.
Facts.
So this child is automatically kicking into defense mode based on most likely what was taught to her. But she know that this is wrong. But you think this soulless creature give a damn? No. Look at it. This is hard. This is hurtful. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, man.
Yes, I actually had a stroke just because.
Turn over! Turn over! Do not.
I wonder if this is a hoax. Where all the hoax people at? Yeah, say it's a hoax. Don't come to my channel with that or your ass getting blocked. Fuck niggas.
Resist! Do not resist! Stop resisting! Stop.
This child is begging this man to get off her. This is sad. This little girl is begging this grown ass man.
Okay, you heard this, Porter? Because Porter said she was just waiting for her mom to pick her up. That is crazy.
As a father or mother, would you allow any grown man to touch on your daughter like that?
I feel you.
Or is it okay for a cop to touch on your daughter like that? To handle your daughter like that?
I'm making it harder.
I can't.
Stand up.
Get off of me.
Stand up.
You can't give me all these commands and expect me to do every single one of them at once.
You can't give me all these. This child is smart too. You cannot give me all these demands expecting me to do all of them at the same time. How is it that us black men are getting shot unarmed, literally, with these cops giving us all these demands? If a grown-ass man couldn't do all those demands y'all be yelling at the same time, we can't do all of them, pow, we're dead. How is it that a child understands this? When you have a child that understands what is going on and what's happening to her, you know that the system is broken. But we ultimately know that the system was purposely designed to be this way. This is embarrassing. This is disgusting.
I want you
Stand up. Get off of me.
Your hands
Stop
behind your
touching
back.
me. Get off.
That child said, stop touching me. I thought no meant no. Officer.
Me.
Go.
I'm not doing anything to you.
Stay here.
This is sad. This is sad and pathetic. Now, when is it we gonna...
All right, just to give some people backstory that didn't know, Porter says that she got in trouble earlier in the day, and the principal and assistant principal were talking to her the whole time. Wow. The officer lied and said that she assaulted the staff. Did the staff then say no, they lying or something? And that he says that's when this part comes in. Wow.
Start putting our motherfucking
Thank you, Porter, for that.
Foot down and say enough is enough. Or is it this is the life that you want to continue living in for your children? Now, I'm not advocating violence, but I'm going to tell you something, man. They better do something. Or ultimately, that will be our last results. Leave your thoughts in the comment section about this video. Share this video with everybody. I love y'all, man. It's time for us to get our shit together, family. Have a good one. Deuces.
YouTube's tripping because I had been like that when I had seen it. Excuse me. Y'all, that shit pissed me off because, just thinking about it or whatever. Now, I've stated before that my daughter has ADHD and she has ODD. And ODD is like, basically, she don't really fuck with authority figures. So teachers, principals, shit, even me, sometimes I'll be like, girl, you know what I mean, with her or whatever. And then I have to get down to whatever's bothering her, whatever. But, she has a lot of trouble at school just as far as behavior. Her education, like, she's smart as hell, but behavior, whatever, and wanting to do things when she wants to do it. So that's scary to me because, like, that could have been my daughter, or that could definitely be my daughter someday. And I just think that that's fucked up. I remembered a story a while ago involving a Caucasian kid who was put in handcuffs or whatever because he was acting out in school, but the handcuffs didn't fit him, so the police officer inappropriately handcuffed him and stuff like that, but he wasn't even treated in that same regard. I mean, it was probably uncomfortable, and it's not the way that you're supposed to handcuff somebody, but this police officer was all on top of that girl, basically attacking her. Let's be real with it. And I don't feel good about that at all. That shit makes me nervous as a parent, especially with one that has, behavioral issues and stuff like that in school. I will be sharing that, with my daughter. I haven't yet. I wanted to touch base on it again, but I really just didn't know much about the situation or the story, but I will, have my daughter watch it. But just going forward, there has to be some type of, disciplinary actions that are taking place. Like, dude needs to lose his job. It should never be appropriate to do that, especially with a child. Like, anybody, period, but with a child, bro, you're jumping the gun. And she had stated in there basically that you're telling me to do several things at one time. I can only do one thing. And that is exactly what happens in these streets sometimes when our people is shot up. They're, told to do things, or they don't even get a chance to do it. Like Tatiana, she was gunned down, told to put her hands up, and before the dude even got put your hands up out of his mouth, bam, he had already had his finger on the trigger and pulled it. You know what I'm saying? I think that these police, like, this shit gotta change, bro. Because it ain't just one thing when they're fucking with us. Like, when I say that, I don't mean like I'm minimizing it or whatever if they're fucking with adults. But when you go victimizing our children, bro, and just think about it, parents probably was pissed off about to go fuck the cop up or whatever. That should be assault. He assaulted that little girl, and just like anybody else, he needs to be held accountable. The officer applied to work in another county, only probably so he can go do it to somebody else. That shit's just ridiculous. An 11-year-old girl, allegedly, now I get the story that Porter was saying, I feel that, but allegedly was out of control so much that he needed to do all that. That's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Barbara says, my stepson is ADHD, PTSD, and ODD. It's a very difficult situation, but thinks he can do what he wants when he wants, and it really does scare me for him when he gets older. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, this little girl was 11, and my daughter will be 11 in February. And she does have them, like, I told y'all last year, she didn't try. She snuck up out of school. She was running game on them people. She got some of them kids in there, like, they just, like, protect her and, like, ride with her. Like, they accused my daughter of, like, running some type of, like, child gang or something. Like, it's not like the Bloods and the Crips or nothing, but, like, how like, the other kids, like, have her back. It's just weird. I don't know, but it just scares me, because at any given day my daughter could go to school, she be on the bus fighting her brother sometimes and shit, and a situation can arise like that. Like, I remember one time, it was about 2 years ago, this little girl was fucking with my son, and my daughter was like, bitch, hold up, you know what I mean, and started scraping her up on the bus or whatever, and she beat her from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. And the little girl, when the police came, because they had to call the police, she was up under where the driver, the gas pedals and shit. The girl that my daughter had stomped out was up under there, and I was very upset at my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, for her to go that far, like, you ain't have to do all that now. You was just doing whatever. But I feel it though. I tell my kids to take up for one another or whatever, but you ain't have to do all that. You know what I mean? And it was scary for me because my best friend, her King had gotten to the scene first or whatever. Her daughter, my best friend's daughter, had called her and told her of the situation before the police got there. So she had her King go, and with the police had just pulled up, You know what I'm saying? And then he had just pulled up and they let him remove all the kids. So her children, her 2 children and my 2 children, and leave with them. And then, the police were just like, well, y'all will have to take care of this at school or whatever. But what if it had nobody was there to show up or whatever, right? Or, I mean, obviously somebody would be there, but what if it was just too quick of a time that the police had got there? She had still been out of control. What would they have done to my daughter? And that shit is really fucking scares me. I know I'll tear shit up for my daughter, but that dude should not be allowed to go work at another county. But that happens often, that type of situation, even if it's not a child that they had victimized in some way, they will actually just go work for another county or another just police department, period, or whatever. It's just trash. I just don't know. And then I'm glad that the teachers allegedly took up for her, but it's sad that that girl even had to experience that. And that's why when our people see the police, even if we're not doing nothing wrong, we kind of be like, ooh, a little bit shit. You know what I mean? Booty get tight a little bit, damn, bro. And then you got to remember, damn, I ain't do shit or whatever. I'm not on nothing. But sometimes we get, slaughtered even in cases where we didn't do shit. I don't know. I think the police just have way too much power, and they're just humans too. A lot of police are scared ass little cops because they were bullied in school or whatever, and now it's just the thing to do to take it out on other people. And I think that's just sad. I think that is sad. The staff must be educated on how to approach and deal with the triggers, training to redirect with positive approach. I agree on that. I definitely agree on that. I definitely agree. Let's move over to Naveah's situation. I got just some clips here. First of all, actually, let's look at this these three really short clips on Camille situation or whatever. We already know what's kind of going on or whatever, but let's just kind of hone in on these 3. I had them there and we didn't watch these, so let's take a look.
Residents there, but the housing authority. This all started when McKinney was kidnapped from Tom Brown Village more than a week ago. McKinney and her family were not residents there, but the housing authority, like everyone in Birmingham, has taken her death to heart. WVTM 13's Jeff Eliasoff is live at the community tonight.
Well, indeed, tonight, as another vigil is planned just a few yards behind me at the Tom Brown Village, the CEO of the Housing Authority does indeed grieve for Camille and her family.
She wasn't actually a resident of Tom Brown, but we feel that she's part of the community.
Lundy says they are trying to improve security all the time in these communities. And today, 14 uniformed Birmingham police officers will assume the duties of patrolling where Jefferson County deputies had been on the watch. They're hoping to forge new relationships with...
why they ain't got cameras in this neighborhood? They talking about they hoping to do this. Housing Authority don't have some dome cameras that they can set up around here to... obviously they did. Never mind. They did. They had to have because they seen her, get abducted or whatever. But damn, they should have been doing that anyway because I know she'd be going down up in this motherfucker allegedly, so they're not inclined to go there. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody that entered. I see you up in here, Coco. CG.
With residents. But Lundy says better policing, lighting, and security cameras can only do so much.
You can put a cop on every corner and you're still not going to be able to resolve all the crimes.
As for the horrible crime that took Camille McKinney's life, the Housing Authority is providing residents and neighbors counseling services tomorrow.
Feel free to come.
Yes, do that, please. What Miss Meat said. Salute.
And share your feelings and so that you can get some professional counseling.
All right, buddy, come on. It's funny when
that help will be provided tomorrow at the Martin Luther King Center inside the Tom Brown Village, where tonight another vigil is planned to start in less than 2 hours at 8 o'clock. We, of course, will be there. We are once again...
All right, so let me see. Then there's 2 more, and then everything else. We're not going to... There's been updates in other cases, too, like, I believe Noah Quattro's case and stuff like that. We'll get to that. But I just didn't want to scheme right over the whole situation with Naveah or whatever. Because again, I guess she been missing for like a year, y'all, or some shit. I don't know. But let's take a look at this other clip with Camille, and then we got one more with Camille, and then we'll get into Naveah.
As of this afternoon,
one side audio, I do apologize.
Criminal charges have formally been filed against 2 individuals for the death of 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney. Patrick Devon Stallworth has been charged with capital murder.
And this is real because remember, well, I don't know about real, but the charges have been added. I mean, I'm not saying that it's fake either, but the charges have been added because remember the other day when we were live, I had looked and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? No new charges or whatever. Well, I did go and look after Rachel had sent me this this link, and they were updated. So,
of a victim less than 14 years of age. Derek Arisha Brown has also been charged with capital murder of a victim less than 14 years of age. Both Stallworth and Brown will be transported to the Jefferson County Jail and held on a no bond. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the family as they grieve the loss of. Thank you to the community for your tips and outpouring of support during this time.
Arne, I don't know. I don't know why you haven't been able to email. You're saying no success. I haven't had any other issues with anybody else that emailed me. I don't know. But I'll take a look though. But I just was emailing Sonetta a little bit ago, so
Birmingham, Alabama.
Hopefully he got the messages. All right, let's take a look. Camille Cupcake remains found. This is just kind of, I think, leftovers from last time, but I think maybe after they had confirmed that it was actually her body, which we kind of already knew that, but let's get back into it.
A horrific discovery last night in Birmingham, Alabama. The body of 3-year-old Camille McKinney was found in a pile of trash. The girl, nicknamed Cupcake, was kidnapped earlier this month outside a birthday party.
You just got an Amber Alert? Where is it at? This shit is getting fucking out of control. Now, if this kid is found in a fucking landfill, then you guys, I'm not convinced that they really possibly have found the people that did this to these kids, because if they're already locked up, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. This shit is weird. I don't know.
2 suspects are facing murder charges.
Bumpus, Virginia. All right, we'll take a look after this.
Mark Strassman has more on this heartbreaking case.
It's a tough moment for our city.
Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin talked about Camille McKinney, the little girl with a big winning smile. This community now mourns for her family.
Your grief, your tears, your pain is not ignored.
Camille was last seen at this apartment complex October 12th. Surveillance video shows her playing with a friend. As you can see, they followed a man, and Camille vanished. Police zeroed in on this Toyota Sequoia, spotted the same day by security cameras at this nearby gas station. Its driver, 39-year-old Patrick Stallworth, and his girlfriend Derek Brown were initially arrested on other charges. Stallworth for possessing child pornography on his phone. Police found Camille's body in the local landfill yesterday after tracking trash from her neighborhood. The couple now faces capital murder charges. Birmingham Police Chief Patrick Smith.
This was something that they thought about, and they saw an opportunity to take a young child, which they did.
There is no known motive, only bewilderment and outrage. And at City Hall, people here who never met the little girl felt like grieving together.
It's heartbreaking, especially when you have kids and grandkids of your own.
There are 2 other vigils for her planned tonight here, and at dusk, Nora, City Hall will be lit up in purple, the little girl's favorite color.
Such a difficult story to cover, Mark. Thank you.
I thought I would be nervous, but I'm actually not, though. I'm actually very chill. Miss Mead said, I can't lie, I'm not focused on this. I'm more worried about your upcoming interview. His following is savages. I'm ready for war, though. Let's be ready, but let's also go in with an open mind. Maybe this would be a good thing or whatever and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Either way, if at least one person gets a message from this or whatever to protect their children, or ways to find signs or whatever, if their child has been molested or just whatever, then you know what I'm saying, it's worth it to me in reality. So I wasn't really on IG. I've been just trying to be really chill. This morning when I woke up or whatever, I just laid there and meditated without music, without anything. I mean, I could hear my kids talking in the background or whatever. They were playing their game and shit because they didn't have school today. But I just laid there and my eyes was closed and I was just chill, and not just because of Sonetta, that situation or whatever, but I like to meditate. But I don't know, it was different today. It was like a deeper meditation without anything, or it was just random. I don't know, but it was really cool. All right, so we were supposed to go to Bumpus or something like that. Bumpus, Virginia, you said? I thought you said Bumpus, VA, Amber Alert. Let's see what's going on, man. Looks like we got another Amber Alert, y'all. Amber Alert. It looks like Isabel Hicks Shea. You guys can see this, correct? Female 14-year-old was last seen October 21st, 2019 in Bumpus, Virginia. The child's hair is long and straight, blue-silver, 2013 Toyota Matrix with the plate number VEM 9071, Virginia plates. This is I guess what the child looked like. Let's see. There's the child right there. Bumpus, Virginia State Police issue an Amber Alert Friday for Isabel Hicks, missing 14-year-old girl, missing 14-year-old out of Louisa County, believed to be with her mother's ex-boyfriend. For what? The child is believed to be in extreme danger and was last seen at the residence in Bumpus, Virginia. She is described as a 4'11", 120 pounds, white female with blonde hair and blue eyes. Authorities believe that Hicks was abducted by 33-year-old Bruce Lynch of Bumpus, who is described as a 5'10", 190 pound, white male. My eyes is dry as hell right now. I should have put something in them. White male with brown hair and brown eyes, with brown hair and brown eyes. Damn. They are possibly traveling in a 2003 Toyota Matrix, Virginia, tag VEM 9071. Anybody with information, please call this number right here. Wow. So, she with her mom's boyfriend. Is this a molestation type of situation? Is he just beating on this child or what? This is what the child looked like, they said. I don't know, this picture looks kind of fake. I don't know what's up with the picture though. Let's see if we can find any other thing right quick before we jump back into Naveah. Shit, I don't know. They probably don't have much. It's probably just that one ass little picture and shit circulating, right? This shit kind of look photoshopped, y'all. I'm not finna lie. Or they just cut it out. Who cut this all out perfectly like this or what? I don't know. Maybe she's in front of a backdrop, but these this up in here don't look right. You see how this little dip is in her arm like that? I ain't trying to be petty, y'all. I mean, still, if you see her or whatever, you see a Toyota or whatever, you know what I mean? Because I ain't trying to say that it's fake. I don't fucking know. But I'm just saying that picture does look very weird to me. But it's a 2013 Toyota Matrix with Virginia tags VEM 9071, and then you are to call this this sheriff's office right here, 540-967-1234, or visit their website. If you do see this child, please let it be known. Shit, that's definitely scary. But let's continue with Naveah. I'll keep my eye on that case as well, because I don't give a fuck what color a motherfucker is. When it comes to a kid, bro, shit, okay. Let's play that shit if you want to. This is a newer clip right here. This is Naveah's father, everybody, if you didn't know. This came out on October 22nd, so my birthday. Let's take a look. Again, that's when I found out about Naveah, the night of my birthday, which is crazy as hell. Basically, then 2 children just found within, I don't know if she was found that day or whatever, but with Cupcake and her, bro, who is putting kids in the dumpster like that? And I've already pointed out that we had Cedric, he was found in the dumpster, and that was just this year. So already 3 children that I could just name off of right off bat that we've touched base on their stories, where they were found in the dumpster. That's 3 too many for me. You feel what I'm saying? But let's take a look and see. I don't know if this is the mother, stepmother, or whatever, but this is definitely her father. So let's let him weigh in. I didn't know, again, that she had been gone for like a year or something like that. I was like, what? So let's take a look.
I really can't say it. The only thing I can go on is DNA. Once again.
And I'm sorry, there's only one audio sound.
I'm not criticizing their efforts, and I'm not criticizing what they've done. I thank them so much for the time they have spent out there. I'm so appreciative of what they've done out there. It's just that I have to settle for DNA. I wanted to be able to identify her a little bit more better. But if I got to settle for DNA, then I got to settle for DNA. That's the only thing I have, I've seen the remains. The remains is not telling me that's her. It's not visually telling me that's her. So the only thing that I can go on is the DNA. I wanted to actually be able to identify my daughter. At least something that would tell me that, okay, that's Naveah, besides DNA. It will be. It will be. I'll settle for that. I'll settle for the DNA. It's not going to go any further than this anyway, so I'll just settle for that. If I had any more issues about the situation, I don't think it would go any further. So I'll just settle for the DNA. Well, as far as me and my wife, we're okay. It's like I was telling everybody a while back. I settle with the good or the bad. I settle with that. If they found her and she's not here, then I settle with that. So we've been coming along. I get stronger every day. The more I cry, the more I get stronger. So I don't cry as much. That was the first time actually in there that I cried that hard in a couple of days. Even when I got the news and they told me about it, I didn't cry. I just wanted to see. Just let me see. And if I feel like everything is what it is, then I'll cry. But I didn't cry. Just seeing everybody in there, everybody that helped, looking at the law enforcement, looking at the construction workers, everybody that was lined up on that wall, that really touched me. Looking at the poster with all the names that was on there, that really touched me. But most of all, just seeing my daughter.
Well, there's a okay. So somebody had said, why do they have to settle for DNA? How long has the baby been missing? She's been missing like for months. I know that. I think it's about a year type of shit. Hey, Lucille, about a year type of situation. In this case, remember, I believe the mother was killed. There is a man that has been arrested also, though, and that might be why. Remember when in the other video they were talking about how the garbage company or whatever for the landfill, they had to track down what cell she was in, quote unquote cell, right? Which is basically a lot where they dump the garbage until they can, do whatever they do with the shit. Well, that they found her in there or whatever, but allegedly she may have been in there for like a year. So that's why, some DNA or whatever might have to take place. But yeah, so, this may be like his mother or his girlfriend or whatever, but her biological mother has died. I forgot about that.
That's what touched me. Just seeing her. So that was
We'll look more into that information because that's what I said. I got more clips because we can't just walk away, just with that she was just found in the landfill and stuff like that when there was way more to the story or whatever that we may have overlooked, or I didn't hear anything about this at all. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all hear about Naveah Adams as far as like a year ago? I was like, what? Let's get back into it.
All the tears, I don't have any tears because of what they found. She's with the Father. She's in heaven.
Are you sure?
If that's the case, then I know she's resting well, So I don't have any tears for that. I just have tears because I have to settle. So I have to settle.
Well, we about to kind of get a better idea or whatever, because I got some other clips, but this isn't the first time that he spoke out to the news. This is just him speaking out after her remains were found. So we'll jump around. I can't look at the date, but from what I'm seeing in this case, because I looked up Naveah and stuff, and I just quickly brought up some clips, but I think it might have been more than just August, but I don't know. We'll see.
We're gonna have a memorial. I haven't decided when I'm gonna have a memorial, but we were gonna have an event, so I'm just gonna transfer everything that I was gonna do from the event to having a memorial. So I'll just get back with everybody on the date on that. It's gonna actually, when I do the memorial, it's gonna probably be in November. October's almost over. We got Halloween coming up, so I want to give everybody a chance to do their trick-or-treat thing. So when it's time for the memorial, I want to see everybody there. So it'll probably be in November sometime, so, and everything.
I don't know what that lady asked.
Well, when the officer came to my door and he asked for 30 minutes of my time, I already knew. Also looking at the timeline, well, we're at the end of the 5 weeks, so it's either you're going to tell me something or you're going to tell me nothing. When he asked for 30 minutes of my time, I knew he was going to tell me either they found her or they didn't find her. But I kind of figured that they was going to tell me they found her. But when I went in there and they told me, there was no emotion. I didn't cry. Reason being because if she is gone, then I know she's in a better place. I rest with that. I'm good with that. After they told me that, the weight kind of lifted off of me a little bit. Well, at least I know she's not out there being harmed or, so at least she's not going through that. And that was one of my biggest things, wondering if she's out there, wondering if someone's harming her, or if I'm going to see her again. Those are one of my biggest things. Not the fact that
I think he's talking about that I don't know, bro. As far as DNA, if she was really out there for even just for some months or whatever, there could be very bad decomposition with just being outside, the summer, all that stuff, that doesn't look good. So maybe that's what he's talking about as far as DNA. You know what I mean? Obviously, to find out if that was her, but I don't know. He just kind of seems off to me. And his teeth missing in the front, that shit's bothering me too. How you get your teeth knocked out? You know what I mean? Was you on some hype shit or what? I don't know, bro. I ain't trying to come to conclusions already, but damn, bro. I don't know. He's really not emotional. He seems like he's talking about just, you know, what they're finna do later on or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he's all cried out. I don't know.
She might be dead. It's just the fact that what she's going through, her last moments of going through whatever she went through, what was she thinking, what was she feeling? Those things is what breaks me down. But now that I know that, you know, she's with the Father, that weight is lifted off of me, you know. Not saying that I'm not going to shed tears, not saying that I'm not going to cry for my daughter. Because, you know, I see my daughter running around my house, you know, I see her outside, I got a car in there that, Power Wheel cars that reminds me of her being in it. So I'm going to shed those tears. I got pictures. I got pictures that she recorded before she went home. So,
but he's not crying now though.
I have those pictures.
The fuck is going on? This got to be the news. It's still going. So they had the lost feed or something. The fuck is going on? So they lost the whole feed for this shit. The whole rest of the feed right after that. It's the whole thing is gone. Wow, okay. What was the last word he said?
She's with the Father.
Before that shit happened, because they sure didn't come back and say nothing.
That weight is lifted off of me, you know. Not saying that I'm not going to shed tears. Not saying that I'm not going to cry for my daughter. Because, you know, I see my daughter running around my house. You know, I see her outside. I got a car in there that, Power Wheel cars that reminds me of her being in it. So I'm going to shed those tears. I got pictures. I got pictures that she recorded before she went home. So I have those pictures.
Right after that. Convenience or no? I don't know. All right, before we take a look into the rest of these, right, and get kind of down to the bottom of it, because I got, you know, a decent little amount, at least down to here from the top or whatever. If we're here for longer, we can go through some of these other ones, which we'll probably do, but we'll probably save this one. This is one of the mothers that had left her children in the house in the whole situation with the club. I'm gonna try to keep this live stream shorter than you know, because I want to make sure that I'm straight and everything is ready or whatever. I have everything ready, y'all. I got my fucking notes. I'm on my chicken scratch, so when we up there on Sonetta shit, y'all gotta bear with me, because I'm about to be going in, y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got my notes, because fuck around with my ADHD, I'll fuck around and forget something on accident, like, oh wait, you know what I mean? I want to be up there looking crazy and shit. So for those that don't know, for those that just came in, we'll be at Sonetta Studios. I'll say my time zone or whatever. 8 o'clock tonight Central Time. Go to Sonetta Studios. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He's up here. I guess he's live right now. So I think he had a couple of shows to do today or whatever, but we'll be there live at 8 o'clock. So that's why I wanted to come before you guys or whatever. I do want to also, depending on how late it is and how I feel, have, you know, an after, you know, live stream type of situation or whatever on my channel afterwards, so we can just kind of weigh in on how we think it went or whatever. Please put the link. All right, hold on. You're gonna have to wait 1 second then. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna put the link to his channel. Fuck. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. They act funny with me putting a link under this account, under my own live stream. I don't know why. So let me get over here to where we are from another account. This is one of my other channels, so if you're not subscribed to me from here, make sure that you do. But the link that I'm about to put in here is Sanetta's channel link. Go there. You can subscribe, you know, hit the bell or whatever so that you're notified or whatever if you like his content. But, you know, at least do it or check it out tonight. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to, but that's where I will be tonight. And then, like I said, after the live stream with him, which will also be there will be a panel, so he's going to interview me on child molestation. And then after that, there will be a panel. Ashe Divine and Michi X will be joining, and we will be going in you know, more on the topic and stuff, and people will be able to call in, and, you know, if you want to, there'll be a call-in number and stuff like that. And then after that, we'll come over here, depending on what time it is. You know, his live streams don't be as long as mine, but then we'll probably come over here. Maybe I'll save that for tomorrow, but we'll come over here after that situation, I'm thinking, and then we will just go live again and see how, you know, everybody thought it was, those that were there, and, you know, if they had anything to add or whatever. So that is what I'm trying to do tonight. So anyway, let's take a look at this. This is an Amber Alert. This little girl right now, you guys, is missing. Okay, so we have missing 14-year-old Virginia girl believed to be with 36-year-old man, and that man, royal family, is her stepfather. So let's take a look. Our mother's boyfriend. Let's go.
Well, without a doubt, this family is heartbroken. The missing teen's mother breaking down during this press conference here at the Louisa County Sheriff's Office. Also working this investigation, Virginia State Police and the FBI. So let's take a good look at a picture of this missing teen, 14-year-old Isabel Hicks. Police say she was last seen at her Louisa home early Monday morning, and right now detectives believe she is with this man, 34-year-old Bruce Lynch of Bumpus, the former boyfriend of the girl's mother, according to Crime Insider sources. They say it's possible the pair could be camping in wooded areas, traveling in a blue Toyota Matrix. And today, during this press conference, you'll hear first from Major Donnie Lowe with the Louisa Sheriff's Office, and then Isabel's brother, and then her mother.
Very early on, we realized that this was more than what it actually looked to be.
We miss you very much, and we want you to come home. Please just let us know you're safe however you can.
Isabel, I love you, and I want you to come home and just let me know if you're okay.
Isabel's mother speaking directly to her daughter there. And during this press conference, police wouldn't answer any additional questions, but they are stressing that if you see Lynch out and about, wherever he may be, do not approach them. He may be considered armed and dangerous. I'll have a full report for you later tonight at 6 o'clock. Working for you in Louisa County, I'm Brendan King, CBS 6 News.
All right, Royal Family. So that's that. This is the dad's, I believe, first time that he came out. They're probably only going to give us one ear audio for this video. I do apologize. I don't know why they be doing that. But this is from August. But some of the other clips, they look like they were from 8 months ago or something, at least. And I thought I saw one that said a year ago. I may be wrong. It happens, you know what I mean? But this is father of Naveah says they are not satisfied with the search of the girl. So she very well could have, Rachel said she believed August, but again, we'll see or whatever what's going on with this. But the father's going to address everybody for 15 minutes. He's standing right here. Here he goes. Let's see what he's talking about in this one, y'all.
Condolences to the family to lose their loved one. I know it's a hurting thing. But my name is Elder James Johnson. I am the state president of National Action Network. I was called by the family to get involved simply because they felt like Sumter Police Department were not giving them the information that they needed. First of all, I want to say to Sumter Police Department, it is very disrespectful to have a press conference without allowing the family to come in, telling the family that they are having a press conference. They lost their loved one. They want answers.
What?
They should not get the answers.
Who has a press conference about somebody's child and then tells the parents they can't come in? Who the fuck does that?
That they just said here on the news, the local news. That's very, very disrespectful. In my case, as the state president of the Civil Rights Organization, 3 weeks have passed 3 whole weeks have passed, and the family got very little information. You know, there were no search, but at the dump area.
Like, what's the point without the family, bro? Boy, I think I would have flipped out, bro. Steal my kids and then you don't let me be involved in the fucking the thing. My camera got me looking crazy. I was fucking around with some other settings and shit, like, let me see what this do or whatever, and I should have put that shit back. I don't know, but bro, this shit is not him, but that's crazy as hell. How the fuck they gonna have a press conference without the parents or the family or whatever? Like, they're not gonna want to be there. They gotta find out everything like everybody else. What kind of shit is that?
National Action Network are going to organize the community to search that surrounding area of that dump. We want to find that child. So by this weekend, we will have our own search because we don't have no faith in the people behind us. So I'm gonna let the father talk now and express about his daughter. Okay.
My name is Dupre Adams, the father of Naveah Adams. When it comes to this investigation, the situation, you know, I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy, even with what they said, with the forensic testing and all that kind of stuff. I'm still not happy. I'm still not satisfied because I still don't have a baby. I still don't have my daughter. And so therefore, how am I supposed to lay her to rest with just forensics if you're not able to find a body?
That's real. Somebody had stated that above earlier. The man just wanted to find his daughter, like, you know, be able to identify his daughter and see that it's her. Now, mind you, this was from August 26th of this year. So this is before she was found.
Like that the search out there in the landfill was not conducted the right way, because I feel like if she was there, she would have been found. I'm just letting the community know that the search still continues. We're not going to stop searching no matter what they say. Right. I believe that...
Now, it sounds like they might have found like a article of clothing or something that, you know, they had tested, and I don't know. But understand that also the mother was, you know, killed too. And then there was a search for Naveah or whatever. I guess the mother and all that, they was together. And then shit just hit the fan.
What they're saying is just something to kind of throw everything off, but I'm still going to search for my daughter. We're still going to search for my daughter. So I'm letting the community know that we're not going to stop the search, and don't you all stop the search. You know, don't stop putting it out there that my baby needs to be found. Thank you.
I'm Tawana Maxfield, the president of Naveah's Voice. We want to express to the media and to the city council, the mayor, and whoever else is in control of this case. We request that everything must stop until Naveah is home. 20 days has passed and we didn't get any results.
Damn, Ashe, if you still out there, one of my mods hit me up and said that you were trying to wonder how you could get a hold of me. Here, I'm gonna put my email address in there. I was not trying to ignore you. If that's... But there's a way to get a hold of me. So, yeah. And then there's another email address up under the call-in number, the 77371 Queen. It's kind of little, though, but it's queensthrone9@gmail.com. Or I can take text messages to the 773 number as well. So,
results.
I hope she's still in here.
Any updates until it's time for this young man to go to trial or to go to a hearing. So we would request that all costs and results bring her home or some more investigating on this matter. Thank you.
My name is Mr. Mustafa, the president of New Century Justice Network, which is a human rights organization, as well as the CEO of Sankofa, which is a youth organization. I have been with this family since the onset. I come out of Columbia with a group of organizations, and we came to the apartment in which Cherie was killed. We brought a grill down, and we brought some people down so we could organize the community. And it was very disappointed that the department manager will not allow us to have the grill there to organize and to galvanize the community so we can begin our own plan. We had to take the grill away from the apartment complex across the street. And that same day, the apartment manager sent a letter out to each and every resident telling the residents, if you participate in this barbecue, you would be evicted, terminated from your apartment. And then we rush on from there. We goes to the governor's office. Same family here, we go to the governor's office. Why did we went to the governor's office? Because Sumter Police Department have not done much of anything, despite what they said. So we went to the governor's office and we met with the director SLED, Mr. Kill. Mr. Kill told us, one, about the Amber Alert that was questioned. He had no idea why the Amber Alert was not put out. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even sure about the Amber Alert. So therefore, the governor's office has to give us a copy so we can understand what the Amber Alert was about. But he made it real clear that the reason that he has not stepped involved with Sumter Police Department is because they had not requested anything. Because
I sent her an email address. I sent her an email. So if she's not in here, we'll get back to each other.
Felt like it should be dogs on the ground. We felt like it should be more agents. We felt like the FBI
they ain't gonna get no dogs out for this baby. They bogus.
Be involved. We felt like that this family should get the same thing as if it was a little white girl, a little white boy. The same exact thing as we had seen all over the country. When something happened to other races, and especially white, automatically you got everybody, dogs, country, everybody. Helicopter, all of that. So again, that's why we went to the governor's office. So after hearing what Mr. Kill said, this was on a Monday, August the 19th, we said, okay, we're going to the city council in Sumter the next day, which is the 20th. So we came here to the city council body. Lo and behold, they would not even let us speak. They passed their own law that day, saying no one could speak, not even the father. So this is why we don't believe anything that they're saying. Because for one, the city council, the county council, no representative but one council member showed up at the funeral. Only one showed up at the funeral. So we're very disappointed in this whole operation. So we want to request that the FBI get involved because there's a possibility that little Naveah could be in another state, especially due to the fact that this guy had killed someone else in Missouri. Again, it's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And it's very disrespectful as the elders.
Yeah, I heard that too, Joyce. Joyce said the mother's boyfriend killed them. I think that's the dude that's in jail right now too. I didn't even, I think I just waited to see if it was Naveah or Reddit in the, a portion of the description, and I just clicked on to the next one because I wanted to, there's a kid down the street, flip it out. Don't play with me because I'll be over there ma'am, is everything okay? I don't play that shit. I hate when children cry, and then they just cry and cry and cry. I had to flip out on my neighbor the other day because she just let her newborn baby just cry. Both her and the daddy standing right there, but the baby just crying. Girl, if you don't tend to the baby, bro. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get back into this.
Say, not only to this family, but to the black race here in South Carolina, not to act like you would act if it was another child. So we're going to continue, as the elder said, we're going to continue to mobilize and organize and beat the street and do what we need to do for ourselves. But I'm going to tell you another thing we're going to do. We're going to organize this community and get the proper leadership that we deserve for our people.
Amen.
The city council, the county council, the legislative body here in Sumter needs to be removed by any means necessary. Why? Because they are not for the people, other people, by the people. And we're going to galvanize the people and make sure that we get them out of office.
Especially that solicitor.
My name is Sabrina Belcher. I'm a community activist for Sumter County. I also am the founder of the Changemakers Organization, which is a nonprofit civil rights organization here in Sumter County. I started the petitions to force our state legislator to get involved and make law enforcement issue an Amber Alert for the little girl. The reason behind that is because an Amber Alert is a nationwide search that will allow all possibilities of bringing her home.
Right. If they would have done that, then we would have known about this motherfucking case. Because they didn't do that, that's how the case is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn, bro. Why wouldn't, and every Amber Alert should be fucking, it should go on everybody's phone, bro. Not just regional or state or none of that. It needs to go on everybody's phone. Period, point blank. I don't care. Not like everybody in the world, but that would be nice. But everybody in at least America, because you never know. You never know how quick you could get somewhere with a child. You know what I mean?
I personally cannot sympathize with the situation. I've never lost a child, but I have children, and I know what it is like to not know where your children are. It's not fair to the father. It's not fair to the family. Law enforcement has kept them in the dark, and they have not done anything that they should have done.
What? He killed another woman in Missouri, too. That's why you got to find out who you hook up with. Oh, okay. I read the who you hook up with part, I thought, but damn.
We need to replace those officials, and we need the support of the community to do that.
I know what I want to say is I know they told me that they tried to search the area around the dump and they wouldn't let them do it. So I want to say to the mayor and the police chief, if we need to get a permit to go behind that dump in the wooded area behind, we want that permit. So we'll be calling on them to get a permit, because if they don't give us permit, we're going to go anyway. So there's going to be some arrests. So we need to find this little girl. Thank you. Any questions?
For Mr. Adams, so to be clear, you are still asking the community to search, and you still think Naveah is out there alive somewhere?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And why do you think that, based on what the police have said? Is it the way they've handled the case, or why do you feel that way?
Because first, it's nobody, first of all. And just with the way they handled it, with the DNA, the forensics, something that could have been done a long time ago. Now all of a sudden you come up with this. This happened on the 5th, on a Monday, but now you come up with something that you may have found in the house to determine that it's conclusive with her being the offspring of me and Cherie. I don't believe that. I believe that, a lot of things went wrong with this investigation, and I believe that they're trying to close it out. They're trying to use whatever they can to close it out, because something along the lines of this investigation did not go right. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the search at the landfill, you said you went to 230 tons of trash. You didn't find my daughter. But then I later on find out that the trash was picked up early. Okay, so what about the other people that's saying that my daughter was seen after the trash was picked up? What about that? So I cannot just rule out the fact that my daughter's gone due to that. You know what I'm saying? Due to the timing. So I just feel like there's just something not right about the investigation.
And tell me about the issues you had today. Tell me about that.
Well,
now I'm side-eyeing the people, you know what I mean? That's supposed to be the way that they just dropped it down like this. I'm side-eyeing the people that, you know what I'm saying, was supposed to be investigating this shit.
Should have been in the press conference. I want to speak. I want to say what I got to say. That's why I'm standing right here. But they don't want me to come in. We went to the city council meeting. I wasn't able to speak there, so here I am at this press conference, and this is concerning my daughter. Let me let the people know this is my baby girl. I did not just walk into her life. I've been a part of her life before she was born, after she was born. You understand?
And I think they do this in other situations, because there'd be so many fucking so many other stories where you don't allegedly hear of no father or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably what's going on, because they're not allowing it in. They trying to control the situation. This man should have been able to be involved.
And I'm saying, so this is my baby, and I don't understand why I couldn't go in this press conference to represent the parent for my daughter. So I'm very upset about that, and these are the same people that said, we got you. We'll answer any questions that you need, and I should have been in it.
So your main frustration is that you feel like you're operating under the assumption that she never has.
Exactly, and then you're with no evidence, and then you're telling the community that. So therefore, the community, they stop searching. But I'm telling the community, we're not going to stop searching. We're going to press forward. When we were denied to go out into the landfill to search, now they got to go back out to the landfill. Look how many days it's been. Look how much has been accumulated out there. It's hot. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep searching, and we're asking the community to keep searching. We're not going to settle for that. We're not going to settle for what they're saying as far as forensics and finding her blood and stuff like that. We're not going to settle with that.
But what was the problem that you all had, just so people who haven't been clear about it, with the Amber Alert being issued?
It has not been issued.
They have.
It's never been issued.
It's never been issued. It should have been issued from day one. I mean,
she was missing, so it meets you.
Right, but they're saying now that it didn't meet it because she wasn't taken in a car. But I've seen several Amber Alerts that a person did not drive away in a car. So if that's your criteria for an Amber Alert, something should be changed, because there's too many people that can walk off with a child anytime and not put them in a vehicle. So that should be changed. But that's the reason. First, it was that she didn't meet the criteria, and then second, it was that she wasn't driven away in a car, and I just don't agree with that.
And that's totally unacceptable. When you ask him about why he feel, there was a lady who someone seen little Naveah go over to her house because her ball was at the house. This particular person is missing. So have Sumter Police Department located that particular female? No, they haven't. The ball was at this particular person's house, Naveah's ball. They seen Dante carry her to this, and he took a shower at the particular person's house.
Oops, I don't know what the fuck
and
happened. I was trying to tell y'all, Rachel's right. That's another case that I was looking at, and it was right under the thing or whatever. But that was of a man. Some shit happened to him or whatever. I do apologize. It was August.
She's missing. She's missing. This is why we want the FBI involved, because Sumter County has had it too long.
Sorry, can you explain where exactly you've been searching, what your search efforts have been so far?
Well, we're trying to find out what their search effort was. That's what we want to know.
We're getting
What
ready
is
to
their
start.
search? We're getting ready to start. We want to know what their search effort, because they haven't told us what their search effort was. So that's what we want to know.
We have because of the Amber Alert, we've been taking it upon ourselves to get social media involved, sharing with our friends, having our friends to share. We have flyers made up. So we've taken it upon ourselves to do our own putting the word out there, until we get better justice from this Amber Alert thing. And my thing is this, I just understood what Amber Alert is, who it represented. So my daughter doesn't fall under Amber. She's not Amber, she's Naveah. So when it comes to people getting abducted and kidnapped, what do you do about it, if they don't fall under the Amber Alert? Because everybody doesn't get kidnapped and abducted in a car. People get picked up and towed away a lot. So what do you do about that? You just throw it under the rug because they don't meet the Amber Alert? So we need an Naveah Alert. Something that meets her criteria, for all the other kids out there, you know what I'm saying, that falls under, that criteria thing that, so nobody will help. So we need a Naveah Alert. That's what we need. So, we're helping out all the other little kids out there that's missing.
Mr. Adams, I know I've asked you this question before, but I do want to ask you again, considering what you've been saying here today. If Naveah can see this, if she is watching somehow, somewhere, what would you say to her? What's the message you want to keep to her?
Baby girl, we are still looking. Hold on. Daddy is right here. We are going to find you. We have not given up. By any means necessary, we're going to keep searching.
Okay, we'll be going to a church for another meeting, and we will be putting together the search.
All right, so let's take a look at, I don't know where the one we was just looking at, but this has got a lot of information in it as well. So this is a press conference that was done live, what happened to the missing 5-year-old girl in Sumter, South Carolina. So this is Naveah. This was August 26th. So I have obviously some other clips as well that I pulled up, but it was sometime in August where she disappeared, and the whole situation with the mother.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Chief Russell Rourke with the Sumter Police Department, and we're gathered here this afternoon to update the tragic events that has rocked this community that happened 3 weeks ago with the death of Cherie Bradley and Naveah Adams. We will continue to support the family and the community as we go forward.
But like, how did they know that she was dead if they didn't find her body until October?
You see a lot of officers to my left. Every one of these officers to my left has been involved in this investigation.
Here we go with more of this
since August
shit of the officers. It's all about them and not the victim. We came here for the victim, sir.
5th. Whether providing security at the crime scene, providing security at our 2 dumps and landfills that went through. The investigators, our forensic officers, have worked tirelessly. Chief Mark Kill from SLED, the purpose for us being here today, number one is we need to go back and revisit August 5th just to put a timeline together and information. We're going to provide information concerning additional charges on Dante Maurice Johnson. And then lastly, we will provide information on what's next. What is our next step in this investigation? So if we go back to August the 5th, Lantana Apartments in Sumter, which is on Carolina Avenue, law enforcement was notified at approximately...
I'm sorry, the audio is making that crackling noise, but that's how it is. And there's only one ear of audio.
6:10 p.m. that a body had been discovered in an apartment. The first responding officer on scene did discover a body that appeared to be wrapped in a rug inside of an apartment, and he set up a crime scene, began to set up a crime scene and notify the other officers. There was an officer that was at the rear of the apartment that was told by a bystander and gave a description of a African-American male in a black shirt and red shorts as an individual that the victim was associated with. They'd had some sort of relationship throughout the years. The officer immediately gave out a bolo or information to officers in the surrounding area, and the suspect ran from Pula Street across to Susie Rembert, which is in that Lantana area, where he was apprehended along with another gentleman that was very early on was determined that he was not involved in the death of Cherie. Dante Maurice Johnson was apprehended, and after a brief discussion with officers on the scene was taken to this building, the Sumter Police Department, for further investigation.
Bro, look at this police lady right here. Hold up, bro. What the fuck is this? Is this a man or a woman, bro? She look rough. Holy shit. Damn.
While the officers on the scene, it was determined that Cherie had 3 children, 12-year-old CJ, 5-year-old Naveah, and a 3-year-old named Carter. A search began in the immediate area and gathering information from bystanders relative to the location of the 3 children.
Right, she probably like, nigga, move out the way. I can do a better job than y'all. She probably would break down the case better, or him, or whatever it is. I don't know. But they might go in way more. This person right here might have some more information. Look how this person is looking. I'm finna pop this out. But the whole time, like, this could be a distraught look, right? Like, damn, another black child snatched up type of shit, right? But it could also be like, nigga, I know what the fuck you did, because look how they're looking. You know what I mean? And I got to pop it out because when I put it like the other way, you can't really see that well. But pay attention to what he's saying, but also look at her, though.
With the Sumter Police Department began to canvass the area for the 3 children when CJ was discovered in the area of Lantana Apartments. Now, while all this is going on, investigators and forensic investigators was on the scene gathering information, providing information to the investigators who were interviewing our suspect. Shortly thereafter, Captain Singleton of our patrol divisions on scene meets a relative of Cherie and discovers that Naveah's father lives in the St. Paul Church Road area of Sumter. She didn't have his phone number. She knew where he lived, but knew in the area, but not exactly. So Captain Singleton took her to the residence in St. Paul Church Road and attempted to find, in order to attempt to find Mr. Adams, father of Naveah. At the same time, officers were attempting to identify the location of 3-year-old Carter and the father of Carter. It was later discovered that Carter, in fact, was with his father in the Lower Richland area of Sumter County. While Captain Singleton was en route to St. Paul's Church Road in order to find Mr. Adams, he learned from Mrs. Bradley's relative that the children attend Archway Academy. Officers were dispatched to Archway Academy immediately. He, in fact, himself called Archway Academy, and it was determined that the children had not, in fact, been brought to Archway Academy. After arriving at the residence on St. Paul Church Road, Mr. Adams wasn't there. He shortly shows up. Through the engagement of the conversation, it was revealed that Naveah was not with him, and he was not aware of her whereabouts. At the same time, officers on the scene, utilizing K9, used an article search to search the area around using an article from Naveah. Also, a door-to-door canvass to each apartment was conducted. Lantana's going through an area where it's being refurbished, so we also checked through where the buildings that were being upfitted that were vacant for Naveah. While this is going on, Lieutenant Lyons determines information relative to the whereabouts of
Lieutenant Lyons. Oh shit.
3-year-old Carter through South Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles, and it was determined that he, in fact, was safe. We continued a systematic search of the surrounding areas around Lantana Apartment using a grid square pattern. Also, trash bins, dumpster, any type of substance in the area was searched. It was during that time that we were in that process that the investigators who were interviewing Mr. Johnson provided us information relative to the method of death that we did not know, and the fact that he in fact had killed Cherie Bradley and that he had killed Naveah. After gathering that information, we provided a document to the media. We pushed out nationwide the situation that we had, and that Naveah was missing with a description. We utilized all social media platforms
He's still trying to get his shout outs in.
They're available to us in the general public.
Oh, girl look like she ain't like, nah nigga, I seen what y'all did type of shit.
Public to push out that information.
I know the truth.
We also contacted the Foothills Search and Rescue Unit from Simpsonville, South Carolina, that has cadaver dogs to assist us in the search.
So the dad had just spoken. I believe this was on like the same day. This what was talked about when the dad wasn't allowed to go inside or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
During the process of the interview,
so he had just said that they finna get cadaver dogs. Well, why you been didn't do no shit like that? Y'all should have had them cadaver dogs all up in that landfill and all around that town looking for that baby.
Between the investigators and Mr. Johnson, he advised us that once he killed both Naveah and Mrs. Adams, Naveah and Mrs. Bradley, that he placed Naveah in a dumpster adjacent to the property. Now, the time of death that we believe, or around in the time of death, from the time we were actually notified and began the investigation, is anywhere between 10 and 14 hours after the homicide. Once we were able to glean the information relative to how he disposed of the remains, we made contact with our Public Works of the city, the county, Public Works. Sheriff Dennis and his officers assisted us in securing the landfill. Now, based on what we know, is the body was placed in the dumpster. Between the time of the placement in the dumpster and the time we began the investigation, the dumpsters were dumped into a garbage truck and taken to the Sumter County landfill. There, it goes on a concrete floor or a transfer station where all the garbage is laid out on the floor, processed, placed into another truck, and then at some point is taken to the location on Screaming Eagle Road. Just before midnight, officers from the Sumter Police Department met the cadaver unit, a cadaver team from Simpsonville, halfway between here and Columbia, and brought them to the brought them to the landfill. At the same time, we had already had and established a perimeter in that area whereby the cadaver team searched, along with us, all of the garbage that was strewn across the floor, to no avail. We also learned that the amount of garbage that was taken in from the time we believed the homicide was committed, the time we were notified, encompasses around 9 to 10 tractor trailer loads of garbage. We seized those trucks. We held them to that night, and the next day officers from the Sumter Police Department, the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, Richland County Sheriff's Office, went to the landfill on Screaming Eagle Road. We emptied those trucks one at a time in a designated area, and by hand went through all 230 tons of garbage that we believe was encompassed from the landfill from that time. While all that's going on, we made...
She looked like she could have been on that detail to do it. She looked like she ain't happy about something, bro. She mad as hell. She just literally staring at the back of his head like, bitch ass nigga. Y'all don't see this shit?
Made contact with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. You'll hear from them shortly concerning receiving some assistance relative to Naveah. We also spoke with the Richland County Coroner's Office, Deputy Coroner Christine Bell. She too has a cadaver dog, and we followed up with investigations and searches in the area of the Lantana Apartments and nearby roadway construction and other areas. We also searched areas based on information that we gleaned from persons calling in concerning the possible whereabouts of Naveah. So we had several forms of investigations going on. An extensive gathering of forensic evidence on the scene, interviewing the suspect, continuing to search in the landfill, areas around, and continuing to search based on information that's provided to us. Biological information and background was entered into the National Exploiting and Missing Children's database concerning the information that we had, and a team called Team Adam was dispatched to the police department to assist us as we continue. Lieutenant Banghart also entered all of Naveah's information in the National Missing and Unidentified Persons database. Over the course of the next several days, the experts from the Missing and Exploited Children and the Sumter Police.
Right, she's sick of this shit, but this dude that they done covered up his face, he like, all right, man, I got shit to do. Let's go. Let's get out of here. He don't really care. And this dude, I don't know about him yet.
Department retraced information from when the dumpster was picked up and through the entire process. And again, Rich will be able to provide us information relative to that. What we believe is that there's a possibility that 2 other trucks were also loaded with garbage from the area. We believe that it is in a cell or in the area on Screaming Eagle Road. We will be providing or developing a course of action over the next several days. During the investigation, during dealing with the National Missing and Exploited Children, we've also been in extensive contact with our partners at the state and local level. We have been in a development process relative to how we will deploy from this point forward to continue to search for the remains of Naveah Adams.
Right. And how did they really know that they was looking for, well, obviously remains, but how did they know that she was dead though at this time? You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that she was in there for 2 months, shit, they could have took anything from this baby. And I think that's why a lot of times the baby's not found for a while, because, you know, they need decomposition to happen real bad to where, you know what I mean? You just never know, bro. There could have been birds down there fucking with her and all type of shit. That's fucked up.
I've been in constant contact with Chief Keel over the last 2 weeks, last 15 days really. They've been very helpful in pushing this case forward in the lab. As I met with you all the first day, we talked about that we have a lot of forensic information. We have a lot of evidence. Because of the evidence that we gathered, based on the statement that Mr. Johnson provided us, and again, based on the evidence we gathered, and based on the analysis and the analyzation and the results of our evidence, we today charged Mr. Johnson with the murder of Cherie Bradley and Naveah Adams. 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and also possession of a stolen vehicle that was stolen from Missouri that belonged to a victim that we believe was involved in a homicide in Missouri. All of the information that we've gathered, all the information that we've been able to illustrate today is based on the information we gathered at the scene, based on the evidence, based on the statement of the suspect, based on the information we've been provided from our partners at the State Law Enforcement Division. And again, as a result of that, we charged Mr. Johnson with Naveah's murder that took place on August the 5th. Now, our local legislative delegation has advised us the governor's office will fully support us continuing the search for the remains of Naveah. I will say this: if we receive additional information as we go along, we'll continue to investigate any information we're provided. I'm going to ask Mr. Rich Alt to come forward from the National Exploited and Missing Children to explain and identify their role in this matter.
Good afternoon. My name is Rich Alt. I'm with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And at the behest of the host agency, Sumter PD, they requested that we send a team here, a team Adam people who respond to active cases. and that was my lead job. The first two things, or the primary two things that the Sumter PD asked of us was, one, to help to continue to push out the flyers, not only the paper flyers, but electronically, to all of the people that NCMEC, the National Center, communicates with on a daily basis. So it goes on our website, it goes out through all the social media, it also goes to a host of companies that have teamed with NCMEC, that all of their drivers get an electronic copy of what we're looking for. So that is all pushed out. So we did that right away. The second thing that was requested was some subject matter expertise on landfill searches. With that, I called in two people, one from Detroit, Michigan, and one from Texas, to come in who have done a number of landfill searches to crunch the numbers and figure out how we do that. They're much better at it than I am. They came in, they go back, they do a complete search from the point of the dumpster, checking with the Department of Public Works in Sumter City, going to the transfer station, then they went to the landfill site on Screaming Eagle Road, and both of those organizations that operate those facilities were very cooperative with law enforcement and with the National Center. And so they go through all of the documents. We kind of narrow down where the best odds are to figure out where all of that trash may have gone to. We have it marked down to a specific geographic area, and then we ask the landfill people to stop working in that area, and then we go back and we complete a complete documentation of everything that's done, why it's done, how it's done, so that we can explain the entire process to the prosecutor's office, to law enforcement, and we provide a summary of the costs, the manpower, the time, the geographic area, how deep you would have to dig down into it, and we present that all to the host agency, in this case, of course, Sumter PD. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Finney.
Good afternoon. My name is Chip Finney. I'm the solicitor for the 3rd Judicial Circuit. I am here today to publicly thank Chief Rourke and his staff for the hard work that they've done. I have always been amazed at how our law enforcement officers spare no time or energy in getting cases solved and bringing them to our office. And this is a perfect example of a tragedy that could have been much worse, except that they were hardworking, got on top of the leads, found the suspect, and were able to get a statement. We also want to thank the National Center, Missing and Exploited Children. They are great partners to have in a case like this. Thankfully, we have never had a case like this during my administration, where we've had to go and look for a child in a landfill. We have the right technical people helping us, and we are going to work hard to find Naveah and get her back with her family so that they can have some closure, and then we can process the case in court. Mr. Johnson has been charged. He has an attorney. The process of the court process will start very shortly, and we will keep you updated on all aspects as the case moves forward. Thank you.
Please. Good afternoon. My name is Gerald Dees. I'm a local attorney here in Sumter. I represent specific family members of Cherie Bradley and Naveah Adams. I want to first thank Chief Rourke and all of his officers and the individuals within his employ that worked tirelessly and diligently on this case. I want to thank them on behalf of the family. I also want to thank Sheriff Dennis and any role his office played in helping to bring justice for this family with regards to this tragedy that they've experienced. This is, as a person that's born and raised in Sumter, this has touched me personally, has touched our community on a level that you can only, that you can't, I'm sure, imagine. And this family is going through some difficult times right now, as they have had a meeting earlier today in my office where they were informed about the murder charge that's now been levied against Mr. Dante Johnson. This family wants nothing more than this gentleman to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And I have confidence in our law enforcement agency and in the prosecutor's office led by Solicitor Finney that that's exactly what will happen. And the family has that confidence as well. But I ask you to understand their pain. They have lost a daughter, a sister. They've lost a child, a grandchild in Naveah. When I say lost, I mean as it stands today, Naveah, based on evidence, is presumed to be dead. But she is not, her body has not been recovered, she has not been found. So this family still holds on to hope.
So why are they still like, we think she's dead? Like, that's weird.
They hold on to hope that perhaps Naveah will be returned to them. And that's the hope they will continue to hold on to. And I'm sure for any of us who have loved ones.
Imagine your child is killed or, gone or whatever. And then these people like, well, we don't know where she's at or whatever. We don't know, but we think she's dead. And you know what I mean? I get it, right? That after 48 hours, it definitely is not looking good as far as, the child being returned. But come on, bro, you got to have some type of compassion. Maybe that's why they didn't let the father in, but that's not right either way. You know what I mean? That's fucked up.
Ones such as they do can understand why they continue to hold on to that hope. I ask our community leaders from the governor's office to our local legislation to continue to work towards bringing justice for this family and searching and recovering Naveah for this family. I ask our community leaders to continue to stand behind this family and support them and lift them up in prayer. I ask our pastoral leaders, again, to do the same, to rally around this family, galvanize around this family as a community, and continue to support them through their prayers. This is a family that, as I said, they're still processing this information. They're still processing this entire situation there.
And you just went all like, they processing that you gave up on their daughter. You know what I mean? And you just came to him and told the father and shit and told him some fucked up shit like, well, we don't know where she is, but she's dead, so chill out and, take a seat, you want some water, you want some chicken noodle soup, motherfucker. Like, how did that conversation go? These people are incompassionate. Like, I don't even know if that's how you say the word, but you feel what I'm saying.
They are in pain, and they are hurting. The community at large is hurting. This is a tragedy on so many levels. But once the investigation continues and as this situation continues to evolve and as answers come to this family, hopefully they will have some closure, because that's what they seek more so than anything is some closure. Again, I want to thank Chief Rourke and the diligent work on the part of his office. I thank Sheriff Dennis and any role his office has played, and I thank Solicitor Finney for the work to come when it comes to prosecuting this gentleman to the full extent of the law, which, as I said earlier, we have the utmost confidence in. Thank you.
Questions?
Chief, do we know the method or the tools that were used during the murder based on what the suspect has confessed to?
Well, based on the confession, but also based on the forensic information and from the autopsy, we know that Cherie was stabbed multiple times and died as a result of that. We were also believe that's the same method based off the information from the suspect, how Naveah perished.
And as far as searching in the landfill, is there physical evidence that ties Naveah to the landfill or to the dumpsters, or is this solely off of the confession there?
Based on what we know and based on the forensic information that we have, that is the most likelihood place for her to be because of the fact that we searched the dumpsters, we searched.
Right. Well, I thought I put my email in there. I thought you were gonna email me last time. But yeah, I would like to hear your what your take on it. We can't do it right now because I got an interview in a little bit, but I definitely would, like to. So my email address is queensupreme369@gmail.com. queensupreme369@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat again. I had tagged you before, but 369. All right. So yeah.
The transfer station.
But what Caliber said, she's dead. We told them last week to check the landfill in Richland County again. That's some real shit. I remember that you was in here last time. I would like to hear your take though.
And through other forensic information that we've received.
With you being down there and stuff.
And Chief or Solicitor, I know you probably could speak to this as well. What's been the demeanor of Johnson through this process?
Investigators have spoken with him several times. He has a lawyer now, so my office is not in touch with him. We are waiting the case file from the chief's office so that we can begin the process of preparing the case.
What does the process look like now? You said search. I know you said there were 2 additional trucks that you all were looking at.
So we will have a meeting tomorrow, discuss the logistics of going back to the landfill. The process of the landfill is not what many may think. Once the garbage is placed into the cell and covered, it's airtight, it's compacted. There's a crush rate on the amount of lift, which is the amount of garbage that's put in there every day. So we will be relying on our experts. There's many things we have to take in consideration, both for the proper recovery and the safety of those doing the recovery. So we will begin that process tomorrow.
Have you all recovered a murder weapon, or was that stashed somewhere? Did Johnson speak to that?
We're not going to get into that level of specificity of the case.
So we spoke with a couple of her loved ones.
They didn't tell us yet. This one was from August. The one that we watched the other day was from the other day when they found her body. But, we were just trying to get some more information. But as far as her body being in a landfill for 2 months, it's probably badly decomposed. I wouldn't say skull and bones and stuff, but I would say very badly decomposed.
Shirley Bradley, and they expressed some sort of frustration that not enough was being done during this search process. Have you been in contact with any of the family members, and will they be able to go along with you to the search process with landfills, or how do you want to do that?
Well, shortly after this tragic event, we met with both families. In fact, we met at one point in Mr. D's office with the family. Because the number of persons involved in the family, at their request, we've provided all of our information through Mr. D's. Concerning a search, that will be a law enforcement function that will be required to do in a law enforcement fashion to maintain the integrity of any evidence that we receive. Once we begin that process, we'll first advise Mr. D so he can advise the persons in the family, and of course we'll provide you all with the information as well.
I think it would be good to say why a missing persons report was appropriate in this case versus an Amber Alert or anything of that sort.
Well, we did have a discussion about an Amber Alert. We did look at the information that we had before us based on a 3-hour lapse of doing everything we could to address locating Naveah. The Sumter Police Department, along with the State Law Enforcement Division, did collaborate with the information we had. And based on the information we had at the time, it did not qualify for an Amber Alert. So out of an abundance of caution, we provided the information to the media with a photo of Naveah and as much information as we possibly could. We've received nationwide attention. We've gotten calls from Chicago, California, Tennessee. This has been at the forefront, as it should be, not only in this community, but nationally for the last 3 weeks.
Chief, do we know a motive yet?
They talking about nationally. I'm just hearing about this shit. I wish I would have known about this shit. I would have definitely spoke up about this. You know what I mean? In reality, hold on, my damn fucking leg is stuck on this thing. Any case with a child, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, send that shit my way, bro. I will look at it. We will talk about it, shit, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying I'm definitely never saying that I'll solve some shit or whatever, but I'll definitely leave my commentary. We can definitely look into it and get some more people looking at shit. That's why I'm saying when these Amber Alerts go out or this information comes out, it needs to be like out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is ridiculous.
I cannot speak to that.
Have you been in contact with her other siblings? Will you be offering any sort of assistance program?
Right, Katrina, he lying.
Are probably going through a lot of trauma right now?
Oh, absolutely. Our victims advocates will be reaching out, and again, we will convey that through Mr. Dees. There is resources available to them relative to the trauma that they themselves are experiencing.
Chief, is there any way that we can speak to what evidence at the scene specifically allows you to believe that she is deceased at this time, or is it kind of paired with the confession?
Right.
Again, based on the forensic evidence we gathered, based on the forensic evidence that was analyzed by the State Law Enforcement Division, provides us in an articulable way, based on the information provided by the suspect, that in fact what he led us to believe and told us from the beginning that he did, we can prove based on the evidence gathered. Going beyond.
Bro, I think they did something with this baby. And bro. I mean, not saying that because they could definitely try somebody, or charge somebody without a body or whatever, but bro, that ain't because based off of what he did. So now you're listening to a killer now? You're listening to somebody that not only killed a woman and another woman besides that, I believe Joyce had said, but also now a baby. You're just going to listen. Allegedly, you're going to just listen to everything. He didn't take you to where the motherfucking body was. Did he draw you a map, bro?
On to levels of...
Like, what is going on, fam? You just listening to fucking, you know what I'm saying, killers now and shit? Okay.
Specificity of what type of evidence that is, I can't do that in this juncture.
Duh, she was, but, bro, I don't know. I'm side-eyeing this dude right here, too. Him, too, because he's like, well, that's just the information. This look on his face, his lip like this is dismissive as hell. That's that look like, not really much I can do about it. You know what I mean? It's done is done. You know what I mean? No.
Now, do we believe that this case ended with Dante Johnson, taken into custody? Do we think, or do we think there's more people out there involved in this case? Should the family be worried for their safety, or do we think this is a done deal? This is done?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination, as far as our investigation.
I wasn't answering that question. I was agreeing with Lonnie. They can cover up good.
We'll continue to follow any and all leads. We're going to continue to place a strategy in place to identify and find the remains of Naveah, discover those. We have no...
I didn't hear much about it. I'll be looking into it. I'm going to look into it tomorrow or whatever. I just wanted to, get this interview out of the way. But yeah, Ebony, thank you. I'll be writing shit down, y'all, and then I'll be never finding what the fuck I wrote down again sometimes. I just need to figure out a system and have a notebook here. Like, I have 4 notebooks here, but they're sometimes they close. The kids are coming here and close them and shit. So thank you. Yes, we are interested in what happened with Ebony from the Granville Ritchie trial. Yeah.
Reason to believe that any other family member is in danger.
But that doesn't mean that her case will be just highly publicized like that. They could order that the cameras are not involved. It just depends. But I'm very interested in it. Thank you, Arne.
We have no reason to believe that there's any co-conspirators involved with Mr. Johnson that we're not aware
Wiley. Of. Okay. Salute.
Thank you all.
No, Rachel be on it, y'all, so. All right, so let's take a look at some of these clips really quick while we up in here. They're really short. I know it look like a lot of them, but they're really short, like a minute. This one's 5 minutes right here, but I want to get out of here within the next probably about 15, 20 minutes-ish. So I'm just gonna kind of play this. Damn. Oh yeah, we already looked at that, so that's cool. Okay, let's get it. Starting right here. Now this is the dude that's locked up. This dude right here.
Mother and her 5-year-old.
Let me bring it back. Court date for Sumter murder suspect.
A court date for a man who police say confessed to killing a Sumter mother and her 5-year-old child has now been set.
28-year-old Dante Johnson is accused of killing Cherie Bradley earlier this month, and her daughter Naveah. A child went missing the night the mother was found dead and has still not been found.
News 19's Kaylin Hagwood joins us now with more from Sumter.
I spoke to Sumter solicitor Ernest Finney. He says the suspect in this case, Dante Johnson's preliminary hearing is now scheduled for August the 29th. His first and second appearances are scheduled for September 6th and November 4th. Finney says that normally by the second appearance, they would have sent Johnson's lawyer all the discovery information they have in their files so he can discuss it with his client. But because of the complex nature of this case, he says they don't expect to have it ready by November 4th. He also said they're waiting on investigators to finish following leads, talking to witnesses, and for the lab results from certain evidence items to return, among other things, before they can start preparing the case file. Johnson has been appointed an attorney. Finney says Chief Public Defender Tim Murphy will represent him. Again, Johnson's preliminary hearing is scheduled for August the 29th at the Sumter Jail. Of course, News 19 will continue to bring you the very latest. Reporting in Sumter, Kaylin Hagwood, News 19, WLTX.
All right, so we got that one. Let me see. Let's go down to where they. All right, this one.
The 28-year-old.
Hold on, let me see. I don't think he really do nothing.
Released tonight in the arrest of 28-year-old Dante Johnson.
Wait, what?
We began tonight over in Sumter. That is where an incident report was released tonight in the arrest of 28-year-old Dante Johnson. He's the man who confessed to killing 29-year-old Shante Bradley and her 5-year-old daughter, Naveah Adams. News 19's Lauren Thomas has the details on what that report says.
We got this incident report around 6:30 this evening, and in it, the Sumter Police Department gives a few more details about the death of 29-year-old Cherie Bradley and the search for 5-year-old Naveah Adams. This all happened on Monday night at the Lantana Apartments in the city of Sumter. According to the incident report, Cherie Bradley was found by a family member who informed the property manager that she wasn't breathing. The property manager went to the apartment, saw Bradley on the living room floor, and then called 911. The report says Bradley was found with multiple injuries to her head and neck area. It goes on to say that law enforcement found Dante Johnson, who they say had been in a relationship with Bradley. He was found on Paula Street, then ran from officers and was caught here on Susie Rimbert Street, about a block over from the complex. According to the report, Bradley's son told officers that his sister, Naveah Adams, was missing, and she was last seen with her mother, Cherie Bradley. During a press conference earlier this week, the Sumter police chief announced that Johnson confessed to killing Cherie and Naveah and claimed that he threw Naveah's body in a dumpster that was taken to a landfill in Richland County. Investigators say they are still working to locate 5-year-old Naveah Adams. Reporting in the studio, Lauren Thomas, News.
Man, that's fucked up, bro. All right, let's go down and get the next one. This one's 5 minutes.
Begin today.
But it's 5-year-old girl. 5-year-old South Carolina girl missing after mom found dead. So this would have been like around the first one-ish, and this one was August 6, 2019. So that's where this is stemming from. So again, it was August.
With the developing story out of Sumter, the search continues for a missing 5-year-old girl. This missing girl's name is Naveah Adams, and she hasn't been seen since last night. Now, here's video of Naveah provided by her family. Sumter police say her mother, 29-year-old Cherie Bradley, was found dead inside her home at Lantana Apartments in Sumter last night. That's off of Carolina Avenue near Highway 378. Police say they were called to the apartment yesterday around 6 o'clock when a family member found Bradley's body. There's no word yet on how she died, but an autopsy is set for later today. Police say they have made an arrest. This is Dante Johnson. Police say he was caught as he was running away from the home. This mugshot is from a previous arrest last year on misdemeanor charges out of Charlotte. Sumter police haven't said if Johnson is connected to the missing girl at this point. So far, the Sumter community has come together to search for Naveah. News 19's Whitney Sullivan is out at the Lantana Apartments to give us a look at what's been happening so far today. Whitney.
Yeah, Darcy. Well, I've had the opportunity to talk with Naveah's family members and friends, and while they are hopeful for a positive outcome, they're hurting. She is a light to so many, especially her father. He's been out here all morning looking for her. I had the opportunity to talk with him earlier today, and one of the first questions I asked him is, how are you holding up? How are you dealing with all of this? He immediately broke down. Take a listen.
I am so heavy right now. I am so heavy right now. That's the only thing. That's the only way I can describe how I'm feeling. Just heavy. I hadn't slept. I can't eat. You know, this is my baby. This is my last baby, and I would never think that this would happen to me. So I'm heavy right now.
I know this is a tough moment. What are you hoping comes out from all of this?
That my baby is alive and she's safe. That's the only thing I can hope for right now. That she's alive and she's safe. That's it. That's it. My baby is too precious, man. She is too precious.
What was that?
Darcy, those words are heartbreaking, just really, really touching you there. And here's the thing, despite these circumstances,
those words didn't touch me. His body language just wasn't genuine, bro.
even when I talked to the father just about Naveah, he could not help but smile, explaining how talented she was, how precious she was, how much of a bright spot she is. We're going to hear more from Naveah's father later coming up.
But he's smiling with this woman, though. I mean, bro, your child is disappeared, and yeah, you a parent would be like, oh man, about my kids, da 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 da. But bro, like, your child is disappeared, so you smiling and all this and that. I am glad to see. Okay, Ashe, I had sent you a text message too. Rachel had said that you was trying to get a hold of me, so I had sent you a text message. But yeah, very off. That shit didn't look right at all.
This evening for News Night. But again, we're going to continue to follow this story. And like I said, a lot of family members and friends out here all looking hopeful for a positive outcome and just asking for everybody's prayers and support. Darcy, I'm going to send things back to you.
Sullivan reporting for us live in Sumter County. And again, that's heartbreaking. Any parent can't even imagine the pain that he is going through. But our team coverage is going to continue. Kaylin Hagwood is in Sumter as well. She's talking with people who are in that neighborhood searching for Naveah.
I'm at the Lantana Apartments. They held a small prayer circle and then they just started walking in search of 5-year-old Naveah Adams. They walked around the neighborhood and slightly into the woods as well. We spoke to a woman who says she's a relative and won't stop until she finds little Naveah.
As long as it takes, I don't mind. I didn't even go to sleep last night. We left from out here at 5:30 this morning, came back at 7 o'clock. Yep, so peace would be being able to eat, knowing that my little cousin is sleeping, knowing that she's eating, knowing that she's safe. You know, because I can't bring her mom back because nothing we could do about that. But peace would be at least making sure the children are right, you know.
There is a small group of people still out here searching for the little girl, and it doesn't seem like they'll be stopping until she's found. Reporting in Sumter, Kaylin Hagwood, News 19, WLTX.
Caitlin, thank you. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this story and look for more information from law enforcement as this search continues for Naveah. But many of you have reached out to WLTX asking why an Amber Alert has not been issued for her. So our deep dive team looked into the criteria for issuing Amber Alerts, and this is what we found from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. As soon as an abduction is reported, the investigation must reveal all of the following before an Amber Alert can be issued. Law enforcement must believe the child has been abducted. The child must be under 17 years old. Law enforcement must believe the child is in immediate danger of serious bodily harm or even death. And all other possibilities for the victim's disappearance have to have been ruled out. The criteria goes on to say that in order for an Amber Alert to be issued, there must be sufficient information to give to the public so that they can assist.
But they act like this Amber Alert is doing a lot, like it's costing a lot of money or something like that, bro. Like, you never know. It takes time. What if you can't locate the people to find out if, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that everybody don't got her and shit. These people got me fucked up, bro. This shit is fucked up. First of all, what if you can't locate somebody to find out if the child is with them? And then all these measures that they just stated, most of them are going to take a deal of time. When it's involving a child, bro, we need to know about that. Again, most places you could pretty much jump on a highway, which will bring you to another highway and another highway, and by that time, bam, you're just out. You could be far as hell in a whole nother state, or going towards another whole nother state. They need to take this shit seriously. I've also stated that these Amber Alerts need to be nationwide. We need to know. I don't give a fuck if you live in Wyoming, fucking California, wherever, bro. You still need to get that shit. Like, period, point blank. That's ridiculous.
In the search, and the child's name and other critical data must be entered into the National Crime Information Center.
Yeah, the child in danger. Like, come on, bro. Somebody just murdered her mom, and she was allegedly like with her mom the last time or whatever. So if the mom is dead, bitch, she's in fucking danger. What the fuck more do you need? Sorry,
if any of that information cannot be determined, then the Amber Alert cannot be activated. An Amber Alert must also be activated by the police chief or the county sheriff of a police department.
There's no money that comes into that shit. They don't need no money for that. The only reason why I like that is because there was a lot of information in it and shit like that. But just in case I want to make updates or whatever, because on my other pages I got to get back on there and start making videos and shit. Here's some more information on this dude. I'm going to try to get out of here within the next 15 minutes.
Well, investigators believe the suspect, 28-year-old Dante Johnson, also killed Naveah's mother, 29-year-old Cherie Bradley. Today, Johnson made an initial court appearance before a Sumter magistrate judge to hear the charges against him. However, that magistrate judge could not set or deny bond on those murder charges. Instead, Johnson will appear before a circuit court judge for a bond hearing at a later date. In the meantime, he will remain behind bars. And we're also learning more about Johnson's criminal past tonight. Our deep dive team uncovering court records scattered across at least 3 states. News 19's Alicia Nieves has the details on what was.
Is this going to be another man that got out of prison 4 fucking times and then, was just allowed to run around and do some more crazy shit? You know what I'm saying? Like how Markeith Lloyd he was in prison 4 times and then they still let him out. And then I'm just saying, I'm not saying that everybody go to prison, they need to be in there, but some motherfuckers don't deserve to. And if you don't see that behavior, like, getting better or that they're learning something, the point there, even though this doesn't happen, when somebody gets arrested or whatever, blah, 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 and then they get sentenced to prison, they go to prison, they're supposed to be rehabilitated. Well, that shit don't happen. Essentially, prison is more like a gladiator school for, people that don't, just necessarily obey the law. And I don't obey every fucking part of the law, but I ain't running around here snatching up kids and throwing them in the dumpster either.
Was found.
Teaming up with our sister station in St. Louis, KSDK, we learned 28-year-old Dante Maurice Johnson is no stranger to crime. These court documents out of Missouri show the suspect's criminal history dates back to at least 10 years ago. In 2009, Johnson was charged after stealing a purse with credit cards and a car from the parking lot of St. Louis College, Florissant Valley. He pleaded guilty in 2010 and was sentenced to 1 year in jail and 5 years probation for each offense. In 2011, Johnson was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon. An officer says while responding to a shots fired call in Hillsdale, Missouri, he saw Johnson hand a short-barreled shotgun to someone else. Johnson pleaded guilty to that crime, too, and was sentenced to 1 year in jail. Moving to North Carolina, in 2015, Johnson was arrested after investigators say he assaulted a woman by hitting her in the mouth with a belt and cutting her lip. The following July, police say he assaulted the same woman by jabbing her in the face with a hair pick. March 2018, documents show Johnson was arrested for violating a domestic violence protection order and for trespassing in October. All cases in North Carolina were dismissed, but it's not clear why. Sumter police say Johnson is also wanted for a homicide out of St. Louis that happened earlier this summer. St. Louis police offered no further details, saying they must first serve a warrant before releasing more information.
What, nigga? Y'all should have been there to get his ass in the first place. See what I'm saying? All them other charges and all this shit added up to this. Now we got 2 women that lost their life and a fucking baby that's dead. And this dude, I mean, I'll tell you, South Carolina, I don't know about the other state or whatever, but South Carolina has a death penalty. So off bat, 9 times out of 10, he will be looking at the death penalty because this involved a child.
Alicia Neave.
Should. You know what I'm saying? You touch a child, bro, especially you throw him in a landfill. We need to fucking execute his ass and then throw him in the landfill and then fuck around with his body. I don't know, man. These motherfuckers right here will have you thinking super like fucked up, evil type of shit. I would love to torture people like this that hurt children, bro. If that was a job, I would apply. I'd be the first one, and they're like, "Hi, you remember me?" I'd be stalking their life, like, "Yup," and all that shit. Because these people need the same type of treatment, bro. Same type of treatment that they do to other people. This dude smacked the woman, he stabbing her in the face with picks and shit, bro. Who does that?
News 19.
Hit a woman in the face with a belt and it busted her lip. Then he went on to just kill a whole nother woman. And then ran into this, Naveah's mother, and then just had to but he felt like he had to get rid of Naveah because she probably seen some shit.
WLTX.
Or just sick as hell and just, how could you kill a child like that? That's fucked up.
Sumter police tell us an investigator from St. Louis was at today's court hearing. We reached out to St. Louis police to ask if he was there serving Johnson a warrant, but they said they had no details to provide. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story and have any breaking news on this.
I hate when I don't like the stuff in the story and then I have to like it anyway because I need it for another channel. All right, let's take a look at this.
The man who police say killed a Sumter mom and her 5-year-old daughter was held today. News 19's Kaylin Hagwood was in the courtroom and joins us.
September 19th. So they was talking about November 4th or something like that. Court date was saying that they may not have that information, but I attempted to write it down. So hopefully, Rachel will write a little note or something if we be on another case, because we definitely on it. I want to know. And if this baby girl gets a trial that's televised, we gonna look at it. You already know.
This now with more.
There was a small crowd inside the courtroom, and it was very emotional for family as they faced Daunte Johnson, the man accused of killing Cherie Bradley and her daughter Naveah Adams, whose body has still not yet been found. An officer with the Sumter Police Department testified.
At that time, it's been found now.
Reiterating the details of the case starting back on August 5th when Bradley was found dead. He said that Johnson confessed to killing Bradley and Adams, and after processing the scene and performing tests, investigators found DNA evidence supporting his confession.
It's important to emphasize that that presumption of innocence is a hallmark of our system, and he remains innocent.
Johnson's lawyer, Tim Murphy, defended his client, questioning the officer in the proceeding. During that questioning, it was revealed that there's no recorded evidence of Johnson's initial interview with police. But he did speak to investigators afterwards, and those interactions were recorded. The officer also said that they haven't found any DNA of the child on the murder weapon, but they did find a drop of her blood at the scene. Emotions were still raw for the family of the victims as the search continues for 5-year-old Naveah Adams.
I just want the healing to begin. And the healing is not going to begin until we go through what we got to go through here. God is still in control. And God is in the midst of this. And I know he is.
The family says they will continue to search for Adams. The court, however, found probable cause for the case against Johnson to continue to move forward. Reporting in Sumter, Kaylin Hagwood, News 19, WLTX.
The crazy part is we'll really probably never know if that child was abused before he murdered her. And I think that bothers me the most, out of this whole thing. You know what I mean? Because we won't know possibly exactly how she died depending on how damaged, her body was or whatever. Let's click on this one. We got a little bit left, but they're all like 1-2 minute clips. This one's, these two are a couple minutes. Let's just get them done. And then I'll continue to, it looks like we looked at this one, so we know what happened because we was up in there. So you would have to do is rewind the live. Let's go to this one.
Found dead in her home.
Hold on, go
And our
back.
coverage continues in Sumter tonight as search efforts are underway for 5-year-old Naveah Adams. The girl's mother, Cherie Bradley, was found dead in her home on Monday.
And it's
She must be new.
not just law enforcement conducting the days-long search. News 19's Kaylin Hagwood has the story of volunteers lending a helping hand.
I'm at the Lantana Apartments. A handful of community volunteers have been searching this area throughout the day for 5-year-old Naveah Adams.
There's a God, and we will not stop searching.
Tawana Smalls organized the effort. She says she didn't know the family but has been touched by the situation and wants to do her part to help.
I started yesterday. I have a group with me to help me.
Savannah Simon was among the group.
I don't want to find her, but I do. But it's gonna hurt me to see her if I find her.
And I have kids, and it hurts me. I pray to God that we found her. I pray.
The community as well as the family are continuing to pray for a positive outcome. Reporting in Sumter, I'm Kaylin Hagwood.
That was August 9th. All right, let's see. All right, this 5 minute, or basically 5 minute one. This is more on, I think, just them and the what they had attempted to do fire searching for her, and this was August 6th of 2019. So let's take a look.
I'm hoping that they find my niece and she's safe.
As long as it takes, I don't mind. I didn't even go to sleep last night. We left from out here at 5:30 this morning.
I think I'll be okay as long as I find her.
I am so heavy right now. That's the only thing. That's the only way I can describe how I'm feeling. Just heavy. I hadn't slept. I can't eat. You know, this is my baby. This is my last baby.
It doesn't happen often, but for the second day in a row, we have to tell you it is not going to be an easy newscast.
We begin today with the search for a missing child and the investigation into her mom's death. The Sumter police have said now their efforts, they believe, are in recovery mode. They say they make that information based on information that they've gathered. They now think that little 5-year-old Naveah was killed at the same time her mom was killed.
Our team coverage begins in Sumter with Whitney Sullivan. She spoke with Naveah's father on the heartbreak that he's going through.
I am so heavy right now. I am so heavy right now.
Naveah's dad, Dupre Adams, is still trying to wrap his mind around this whole thing.
That's the only thing. That's the only way I can describe how I'm feeling. Just heavy. I hadn't slept. I can't eat. You know, this is my baby. This is my last baby. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I see it happen with other people, but I never thought it would happen with me.
While he's still coming to terms with Naveah's disappearance, he's focused on one thing.
It didn't happen to you. I mean, it kind of did, but more like your child's mother and your daughter, bro. Like,
the only thing I can hope for right now is she's alive and she's safe. That's it. That's it. My baby is too precious, man. She is too precious.
Bro, this dude is not being sincere, bro, at all. That shit's bothering me.
Life, she want to do things, you know what I'm saying? She's just bright and talented. You know? My baby need to be here, you know what I'm saying? So she can grow into that talent, you know?
Despite these circumstances, he couldn't help but smile when talking about his little girl.
I bet. Come on, bro. Your daughter missing and you over here smiling. I'm so heavy. I'm all this and that. And then you talk about you're asked to talk about your daughter and then you get to smiling and shit. Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro.
She's just outgoing. She's very playful. Sometimes, you know, she can, when she's playing by herself, I mean, it's like she got like a whole bunch of kids with her, you know, so she doesn't mind playing alone. She doesn't mind learning. She doesn't mind trying new things. She be flipping around there. I'm like, look, I don't need you breaking your neck now. You know what I'm saying? But she's with her dad. She's just happy, you know. Only time she get upset is when I'm being dad. You know what I'm saying? But
Loving words from a father who just wants all of this to end with his little girl in his arms.
Holding my daughter. That's it. Holding my daughter. Holding my baby. That's the only piece right there.
Bro, this dude is fake as hell, bro. This is not real. his response is not real. That body language is off, bro. There's no tears. We're hearing the sound of all that bullshit, right? But there's no fucking tears. It just does not match up.
My baby. And I know she gonna be all right after that.
In Sumter County, Whitney Sullivan, News
Anybody
19.
can do that. My baby, and I know she gonna be all right after that. Come on, I could damn near sound just like his ass. The fact, bro, that doesn't even sound real, genuine, none of that.
WLTX.
As an empath, oh nah, he wasn't being sincere. It's something else.
Now that was Naveah's dad. Naveah's mom, Cherie Bradley, was found dead in her apartment in Sumter, and deputies have been working hard to find little Naveah.
He did, Mindy, for real.
Since her mom's body was found.
Our team coverage continues with News 19's Nick Jones. He has more on the arrest of the man that is accused in both of these killings. Nick.
The Sumter community is.
This nigga right here look like a serial killer for real. He look like a Jeffrey Dahmer type. Let me fix his audio though.
Been praying and hoping that the 5-year-old will be found safe, but investigators confirmed this afternoon that the suspect in this case have told them the little girl is dead. At 2, they shifted their search for Naveah Adams.
Bro, they got rookies working and shit on this baby girl case. That's fucked up.
To a recovery effort. Officers say the search began Monday night after they got the call her mother, Cherie Bradley, was found dead at the Lantana Apartments. Law enforcement says 28-year-old Dante Maurice Johnson was seen fleeing the area and was later taken into custody in a nearby neighborhood. After interviewing Johnson, police say he confessed to killing Bradley and the little girl. Johnson also gave officers information so they could locate Adams's body. Upon further investigation, the Sumter Police Department says Johnson has a criminal record in other states, including being a suspect in a Missouri homicide. At this time, Johnson is being held at the Sumter County Sheriff's Office Detention Center for a murder charge. Police say his first appearance hearing is still pending at this time.
We already knew that shit. All right, let's see. We got a couple more. I'm gonna we know that she was found, so we ain't finna trip on that. We already just watched the whatchamacallit yesterday. Let's get through with these two, and then I'll wrap it up for now, so that I can get a couple of minutes to do what I need to do, go to the bathroom, before this interview tonight.
Police in Sumter held a meeting today to discuss the next steps in the search for 5-year-old Naveah Adams. She disappeared 3 weeks ago after her mother was found dead.
All right, this is August 27th.
News 19's Kaylin Hagwood joins us in Sumter with the latest.
I'm at the Sumter Police Department. Area law enforcement officials met with several state agencies during a meeting today to discuss how to proceed in the search for Naveah Adams. According to Sumter police officials, they're focusing on area landfills after suspect testimony and forensic evidence collected at the scene led them to believe that Adams may have been killed and put into the garbage.
Based on what we know and based on the forensic information that we have, that is the most likelihood place for her to be.
Today they discussed plans and preparations for a comprehensive search and received insight from experts on what resources and steps are necessary to complete it. Although they couldn't reveal all the specifics of the meeting, police officials say the search through the landfills will take multiple disciplines and areas of expertise to accomplish.
We will be relying on our experts. There's many things we have to take in consideration.
Yeah, we know about that too. We heard him. Every time I see him, he just throws me off. I don't want to. All right, this is the volunteer speaks again. We're going to close out with this one.
It has been more than a week now since 5-year-old Naveah Adams went missing in Sumter.
Tonight, the push for a more widespread search continues. News 19's Kaylin Hagwood explains.
Volunteers who are searching for Naveah are petitioning for an Amber Alert despite law enforcement saying it does not meet the criteria.
My personal stance is that she is not dead. She is indeed being held by someone that the killer could have possibly given her to. That is one of the reasons why I believe that law enforcement may be misguided in their judgment on this, and that we could be out there finding that little girl.
Sabrina Belcher created the digital petition late last week. Since then, it's gained more than 1,900 signatures.
It just shows that the community wants her to have an Amber Alert. We want the little girl to be brought home safely.
Sumter Police Chief Russell Rourke said last week that they reached out to the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division and are following the mandatory guidelines.
There's very specific requirements, And while we were talking with the State Law Enforcement Division representative, Mr. Johnson admitted to killing both Miss Bradley and Naveah. To investigators.
According to SLED, law enforcement must believe the child has been abducted, is at risk of serious harm or death, and have enough descriptive information to share before they can issue an Amber Alert.
He also relayed to us that he had disposed of the 5-year-old's body in a dumpster.
There are like very gray areas. We just want to see law enforcement issue an Amber Alert and giving every possible opportunity of bringing the little girl home.
Belcher says she'd be willing to work to have the criteria changed if it means 5-year-old Naveah Adams can receive an alert. Meanwhile, police, family, and community volunteers say they will continue to search until the child is found. Reporting in Sumter, I'm Kaylin Tagwood.
All right, so y'all already know what it is. I'm about to wrap up today's thing. We're about to head over within about the next 40 minutes. I will be on Soundetta Studios to talk about molestation, as well as Ashe Divine will be hosting a panel of me, Michi X, and some other women will be calling in, I believe. So if you would like to call in or you would like to watch that, please head over. It will be about in the next 40 minutes. He's gonna start it at 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna wrap up for now, you guys. After that live stream, we'll head over here for those that want to, and we'll kind of weigh in on how we thought it went and stuff like that. So I hope to see you guys, or basically I won't be able to comment to you guys like that, but hopefully I'll see your name scroll by in the chat room and you'll be there to support. But we'll be back after that to talk about it or whatever. So salute. We'll be back here to talk about it after being over here. So salute. Much love for those that just watched this and they got other things to do. Much love regardless. I will see you guys later. Salute to the royal family. I love you guys. Stay you, stay royal, stay uncompromisable, because in a little while I'll see you in another live stream. Much love.